Hello, Amtgard. I'm Raven Stormclaw. This is Serova, current champion for the Grand Duchy of Crystal Groves. And we are here today to construct a Amtgard Tier List, which is basically just a ranking of the different classes of Amtgard in a certain game mode. Today we will be covering Capture the Flag and how effective they are versus the other classes, and we're just going to kind of rank them. My hand in the frame. We're going to kind of rank them based on how good they are for the particular game that we're going over. Again, Capture the Flag. Say something.
Hello.
That was weird.
All right, so he called me over here to discuss, and we kind of threw in a couple of ideas back and forth at each other as to, what we thought was probably the best position and ranking for each class. And we had to, I don't know if you already explained this, but we assumed everyone had the exact same.
I had not.
We assumed everyone had the exact same amount of fighting ability when it comes to just pure stick fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And we both kind of assumed if they were level 6 fighters. So we just to make it easier, we made them competent fighters, level 6 class, and we thought, well, what would be the ranking in Capture the Flag kind of a game?
It's sort of like if you take the same player and you clone them, I don't know, 13? How many classes are there? 13? 13, I guess, times...
Reed Squalled.
Yeah. 13 or so times and had them play each of the different classes. How effective would that individual be in each of the classes? Now, this list is strictly our opinion. This is not the end-all, be-all, this class is better than this class because we said so. It's not, right? It's just, in our experience, on our field, in Crystal Groves, these classes are effective and they rank this way. I have no idea.
I would also like to pop in here and just say that this list, while it is something that we both have come up with, we would definitely like some feedback on this kind of stuff. Definitely give us your opinion, and if you think that one of our decisions here was completely wrong, let us know and tell us why. Don't just say that we're wrong. Explain to us why we're wrong, because that's how we learn. So at least that's how I learn. I don't know about you, but
I mean, I already know everything.
He doesn't learn at all. Never.
Anyways, all right. So
without further ado,
on to the list. So a few points to note before we actually get into the list itself, and that is, what does the list mean? Now, what we've done is we've taken letters from the alphabet, A, B, C, and D, but we've also added S, right? With S being at the top. So like
super.
Like super, right? Then there's also SS, which is God tier.
Super.
Spoiler alert, nothing's going to be in SS, because SS to me means if this class is on your team, you automatically win. Nothing else comes into consideration. That's just not true.
We can cut this part. Why do we have an SS if no one's going to be an SS?
Because I said so.
We don't have an F.
Yeah, it's good that I go down to F.
Why not?
Because I said so.
I'm actually asking. I'm very confused. Why do we have an SS and then we have
because
we
this
don't
is
have
how
an
tier
F?
lists are done. I'm still on right now. Anyway, can we get back to the part?
And back into our intro.
So SS again means God tier, always win, whereas D means it's garbage, it has no viability, and everything else is in between. And we go from A to A plus into S minus, for example. There you go. For another part to note is that A is considered balanced. That's the point where it's not terribly advantageous for you to have, but it's also not going to hurt you at all.
It's going to be pretty good.
Completely, it's good. It's fine. Okay? Moving on. Okay, so first entry upon our list is Anti-Paladin. For us, Anti-Paladin is right at A. It's fine. It does really good work, especially if they've got all the equipment that they need. For me, the thing that kept it out of getting higher was the undead minion at level 6.
If it was greater undead minion, you could make a case, but regular undead minion twice per refresh at level 6 just doesn't really do it for me.
What was that you said about that fact that it's an objective-based game instead of a life game?
Yeah. If this was a kill game, like go kill the other guys, anti-paladin would rank higher. They've got the poisons, they've got the awes. They would be much better in a go kill the other team game, but since this is an objective-based game, capture the flag.
Crowd control is a little more important than just killing everybody.
Very important in this game mode, and I feel that the anti-paladin doesn't have enough of it to push it higher, and again, that undead minion at level 6 just really doesn't do it for me at all.
And there's a lot of games, especially in this version of Amtgard, where the life pool is not that drastic. You usually have 10, 15, 30-second death counts, and so when it comes to certain stuns and everything, I mean, it might be easier. So, like, if I get hit by an ice ball and I have a 15-second death count, I'm just going to go back to base. It's better. So if you have, if you just kill somebody, sometimes the payoff is not as great as crowd control can be. So that's why it's not quite as anti-paladin was not higher ranked.
Okay. Moving right along, we have Archer at B tier.
Shout out to Kai.
She's
my arch buddy.
I mean, she's awesome. But anyway, Archer at B. Sorry, Kai. The thing that keeps it from being higher is you gotta hit it. If you're a bad shot, if our mythical cloned player can't hit anything with bow and arrow, he's not gonna be effective.
And we had the same logic when it came to the archer's skill level as we did with the sword fighting skill level. But when it comes to Archer, it's one of those things where, yes, wonderful at range, but if you do happen to miss, just like we happen to sometimes miss sword shots, it's so much quicker to just simply throw another shot, whereas it comes to archers, you have to reload and everything. So if an archer does miss a shot, it is going to be it's going to be a heavier payoff. It's going to be a heavier
detriment.
Yeah.
Heavier detriment. The thing that keeps it higher and not into something like D tier is the specialty arrows for me. Pinning arrow is one of the most broken things in this game, in my opinion. I hate it. It's garbage, but it puts you in B tier. I don't know what to tell you. Moving right along. Assassin. Gonna put it in B+. B+, just slightly over Archer. The unlimited assassinate is fantastic. No reses for you. The insubstantial, what is it, 4 or 5 ways to go insubstantial? And
you said 5. I don't know how accurate it is.
I have no idea. I believe it's 5, but I could be completely wrong.
I haven't really looked at Assassin that thoroughly, unfortunately. So.
With crowd control being as important as it is in this particular game mode, being able to dodge said crowd control is just fantastic. That's one of the things that keeps it in the B+.
I'd like to interject here and say that the Capture the Flag game is the one that we envisioned was each team has a flag. So it's not really an attack defend, it's both teams are attacking and defending.
You know what, I kind of want to move it higher. I kind of want to put it into like A-, yeah. I didn't think about the dodging the crowd control. That's fantastic. I kind of want to put it higher.
Okay, well...
alright. Audible, we are moving it right up to A-. Just the ability to dodge crowd control makes it a little bit better in my opinion. Surprise.
Alright, but still in B+ is going to be the Barbar.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Fight After Death is a great crowd clearing. It's fantastic. Being able to heal yourself on the fly is great. They get medium shields, which is great. They can carry every weapon under the sun. They get rocks.
Those rocks are nice.
But everybody knows how to counter a Barbar, for one. Take the arms, take the legs. And Barbar, in my opinion, is a class where you really have to have great stick. If you don't have good stick as a Barbar, you're going to get railroaded all game. And
no matter how good your stick is, if you have another player who's a magic caster who knows exactly how to counter you, you're not going to be able to do anything. So
yeah. All right. Moving along, we get to Bard. Bard is S+.
And he's not actually just saying that because he plays Bard all the time.
I mean,
Bard is very good in a game like this where crowd control is very important because you want to be able to stop people from coming to...
calm. We want to stop people from being able to come and attack your objective, the flag. So when it comes to crowd control, Bard is definitely high up there.
It's so good. I mean, you've got soft crowd control with make people stay away. You've got make people come here. You've got go back to base. You've got stun. And especially if they run something like Dervish and just take nothing but crowd control, yeah, Bard, S+. I mean, it makes a contention for being the only class that I could conceivably put in SS, but I'm not going to do that. Anywho,
Druid's next.
moving right along.
Druid.
A+. It's fine. It's great. It does a lot of work, but you got to have a good team. If you don't have enchantable targets, you're going to be significantly less effective.
Yeah.
But if you get enchantable targets who have got good stick, good abilities, mobility, and all that, it does a lot of work.
And even if you enchant yourself with everything, and even if you are a good fighter, you're still one person against an entire team.
Yeah.
So that's going to be rough.
Yeah, Druid really requires a good team comp. Otherwise, it's going to be significantly less effective. But it's also not trash, which keeps it an A+.
And of course, when it comes to a Druid, the team, knowing how to work as a team and everything is, I assume a good Druid would know how to do that. But at the same time, if you don't have that necessity of a good team, then you're kind of screwed.
Moving on, Keeler. Healer is S.
Crowd control.
Crowd control is really good. They've got, whereas the Bard has an abundance of soft crowd control, which is either go away or come here. Healer has a pretty good toolbox of hard crowd control.
Just stop.
Stay there. Go insubstantial.
Freeze, stun.
Yeah.
Go in sub. Go home.
Go in sub. Go home. Oh, that combo. Anyway, Healer is S. The reason that we don't put it in S+ is because in a game like Capture the Flag, especially if you're running low respawns, Resurrect is useless. A big part of their kit just doesn't matter anymore.
The heal is going to be helpful.
Yeah, the heal is helpful, fine. And at higher levels it might be a little bit different. Personally, I don't play high level healers, so I don't know. But a high level healer is great, but is it S+ worthy? No.
At least not in this game. Not in this Capture the
Flag. Next is Monk. Monk is also an S. Monk is the highest ranking melee class, specifically, at least for me, because it counters Bard. Bard being, in my opinion, one of the best picks in this game, and Monk being a direct counter to Bard. I mean, Bard's got nothing against monks. The best thing they can do is either avoid them or just be a better fighter. So,
the reason that we actually had Monk higher at first, but we had lower because the only reason we put it so high really was because it's such a great counter to Bards. So we wanted to, when it comes to, even with the Sanctuary that you have, it's still fairly easy to counter.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of options, especially if you're a good stick. But, you have the Sanctuary, you have Throwies, Heals, Resurrect, that's always good. And it's not great, but it's good in a pinch. Excuse me. And, with it being the direct counter to Bard, S. Next up is Paladin. And Paladin, we originally had it in A. And we were right there with Anti-Paladin, it being nice and balanced. But we looked at it a little bit further, and we put it to A+. And the reason that we put it to A+, Pro Magic. Level 6 Pro Mag, yeah. Again.
Especially since, and I actually might make the argument that it should be higher, because that's the reason we put Monk so high.
You know what, I was kind of thinking that too, just now. S-.
So, S- at least, because of the same reason. If we put Monk at S, and, we take Paladin, which has the Pro Mag, I feel like it should be higher.
Okay, so, another audible. Paladin actually goes up to S-.
We didn't think this through very well.
I mean, we did, but, we were kind of bringing up points.
We're just really good at bluffing. Yes.
Yeah, improv. Paladin is great. Big shields, good armor, decent, not great, crowd control. The Pro Mag is great. The immunities that are built in are great. The extend immunities are great. It's a great class. S-. Now I'm about to make some people mad.
Me too.
Including her. I have got Scout at B-.
He's got the lowest class of the entire list.
Yeah. I don't think
That's below
Scout.
Warrior. Okay.
I don't think Scout's very viable.
Below Warrior?
Yeah.
Why?
Because at least a Warrior can tank out. And again, avoid crowd control. Or at least shorten it. Shake it off.
Like, barely.
Barely?
Yes.
You get hit with an ice ball, you get it down to 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's great. Yeah.
Regardless.
I originally had Scout in like C+.
And I made the argument to push it higher.
And the only reason that I had it in C+ is because I figure that the best Scout in the game can make Scout viable. But your average, everyday, Joe Schmo Amtgarder, it's not that good. Anything that a Scout can do, there's another class that can do it better.
However, I made the argument that it's good to have a player who can do many things, like multiple things, and have those at their disposal. Instead of having, a healer, a monk, like all these different classes, like 4 different classes, it might be better to just have one person who can do all 4 of those things.
I like having better tools. That's all. Moving right along before you murder me. Into Warrior. Warrior's at B.
Which is above Scout.
Shut up. Shush.
Alright, so mostly because of the Shake It Off, I believe, because in a game of crowd control, Shake It Off is very important.
Also 6 points of armor.
And
with a large shield.
Also the fact that they have Command Thy Attention. That's insult. It's going to be very that's going to be fairly useful, because you could take the person who's like trying to kill your entire team and doing a good job of it and say, hey, look at me, and then they do. So that can be very helpful when it comes to crowd control.
But yeah, Warrior's higher than Scout because mainly for me it's the Shake It Off and also the tankiness. I mean, you got a guy with a large shield and 6 points of armor. He's going to be really hard to kill. And if nothing else, he'll be a crowd control sponge. He'll run in there and try to get some stuff done, and maybe he gets CC'd out, but while he's getting CC'd out, your monks or your bards or whoever can run in there.
Make the argument that anyone can do that.
Not as well as a warrior, in my opinion.
What about a barbar?
Barbar gets terrored, he's gone. Barbar gets terrored, he's gone.
Can't terror a warrior?
I mean, you can.
So
I feel like they're a good CC sponge.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just me. Finally, we come to Wizard.
We have that one at same level as Bard.
S+. Bard. Wow. Wizard can do almost everything that a Bard can do, and in some cases they can do it better. If nothing else, they have a kill spell. Kill spells are great.
All of the magic that they can cast. I have seen wizards just without any weapons whatsoever walk around and keep most of a team at bay, and that is pretty impressive. Especially in an objective-based game, that's going to be really helpful. And honestly, on most of the lists that we would make like this, Wizard's going to be at the top of a lot of them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just because they have such a big toolkit.
Yeah, Wizards are fairly broken.
Yeah, they have an answer for everything.
And you also said Dispels was one of the reasons you wanted to put Wizards so high.
Yeah, Dispels for days, kills for days, hard crowd control, soft crowd control. It's almost better than Bard.
Dare you say it?
I'm not sorry.
Alright, so
and that's our list.
That's the entire list, everyone. Let us know what you think. Let Zachary know how wrong he is about Scout.
I'm sorry.
And
I'm not sorry.
This
might not even a little bit.
He will be.
I will not be.
He will.
Alright, so yeah, again, that's the list. Let us know what you guys thought. Let us know what game mode you would like us to cover next. I was thinking Mutual Annihilation, but I don't know yet. Alright, that's it. Bye, guys.
Bye.